Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Adele, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And let's take a look at your situation here. So, you say, I was so confused about how to initiate studying for the TOEFL till today that I saw your video on YouTube by chance. I'm so excited about finding your website, seeing how people are satisfied about your works. I briefly tell about myself. Okay, so you have 3 points here. Let me just kind of rephrase what you're telling me. So, you took the TOEFL IBT back in Iran before you came to the United States and you scored 68. You took English classes at Fresno University and you got 550 in the TOEFL paper-based TOEFL, which means your score is around 81 on the TOEFL IBT. Then you say you started your MBA program at Fresno State, you graduated with a really good GPA of 4. You see your English improved after being in the United States for 2 years and also working in a company at Fresno at the same time. But you're saying is you might be taking the TOEFL again because of what's called Plan B. So if your employer does not give you an H-1 visa, then the Plan B is to apply for a PhD program and get a scholarship which requires over 100. My goodness. Wow. So you got to get over 100 on the TOEFL IBT to qualify for the scholarship, and you have to have a GMAT score of 700. Whew! That is some high marks. So you say, I'm thinking of getting a score of 105. So your goal for the TOEFL IBT is reading 27, listening 25, writing 26, and speaking is 27. So you're giving me the results of the exam you took 2 years ago, but I don't think that's very accurate now because of your score right now is closer to 80, 81, not 68. So I'm going to disregard that, and let's take a look at your schedule. So you work every day from 8 to 5, 5 days a week. You're free in the evenings, which means, let's face it here, if you're working 8 hours a day here, how much studying do you want to do in the evening? So maybe 1 or 2 hours at the most, right? You're also free on the weekends. You say, I can spend 3 hours during the week and a minimum of 16 hours on the weekends. You say, I'm thinking to spend 2 months for the TOEFL. Is it enough? Maybe, maybe not. I cannot say exactly. Because right now your score is around 80, 81. You want to get over 100 on the TOEFL IBT. I'll be honest with you, getting over 100 is not very common, or not as common as getting a score of say 80 or 81 or 82 or 85, even 90. So you're asking to get a really high score. So my recommendation for you is, I'll recommend, let's see how you do. Now what I'm going to do is recommend a specific plan for you. Now once you become one of my students, Adele, you will have complete unlimited access to over 700 lessons focusing on vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, listening, reading, writing, and speaking areas. So you have a very well-rounded, I think you'll get well-rounded exposure in a lot of different areas to improve your English. So I'm going to recommend my 60-day TOEFL study guide for you, and let's see what happens. So what you can do is, the study guide will give you some things that you can do at my website each day for the next 60 days. And then at the end of the 60-day period, you can take a full-length IBT practice test. You can go to the 8th section of my course if you want to do one of those, and there you can learn more about that. If you do a practice test, that's going to give you a chance to see where you are right now. So the practice test will give you it'll give you an overall score for the TOEFL IBT, and it'll show you how close you are to 100. It'll also give you subtotals in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections. And with that information, you can make a decision about whether or not you feel you're ready to take the TOEFL IBT exam. Alright, so those are my recommendations for you. I will include a link to the 60-day TOEFL study guide for you. And remember that you can use my website any way you want. So if you don't want to use a study guide, you can certainly just go right to my website. You can do any lessons you want, anytime you want. Now, in the case of pronunciation, speaking, and writing, I do have a rule. I want to make sure you understand it before you join my course. My course is inexpensive, right? So if you do a writing and speaking practice test, the main thing is don't do more than one per day. So I allow you to do one writing and one speaking practice test each day. If you follow that rule, that keeps the cost of operating my website at a low level. And then I can make the course inexpensive for most of my students. Remember, I teach students from all over the world, and some students are on a really tight budget. So I'm trying to keep my course as inexpensive as I can. All right, well, good luck to you.